Yeah, you right. Wide open Wednesday. Let's get this thing going. Make it official, Mario. There it is. On air. We're on air now. Thanks for checking us out on the radio. If you go to CoreyTalks.com, it basically has the ways you can check out this program every day from 4 to 6 p.m. live. Radio, television, YouTube, X. We're live on X right now. Follow me at Corey Johnson on X. Corey spelled Kaare. You can check us out on YouTube live every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doesn't cost a thing. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. We're on radio. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. Yeah, a couple of spots on the FM dial. Pick your poison. Oh, so fine. 93.9 or New Orleans' own 107.9. And if you're a Cox Television subscriber, still the #1 television provider in the state. Television programming provider in the state. We're on Cox Channel 4, weekday afternoons at 4. If you have Cox TV, go to Channel 4. I'm there every weekday afternoon at 4 o'clock, right there in your den. You Spectrum Television subscribers, the old charter, Spectrum Channel 333, easy to remember, 333, 3 cubed on Spectrum. And like I said, to start this whole diatribe, CoreyTalks.com. It's got all the info, radio, television, X, YouTube. Yeah, you right. Sending out little short clips also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok even. Those Chinese bastards. Check us out on all of those other social media platforms. Oh boy, I don't like this. UNO officially loses its identity. It's a shame. Ridiculously politically motivated, insanely short-sighted. No more UNO, or soon no more UNO. It'll be LSU at New Orleans, like LSU Shreveport, like LSU Eunice, LSU New Orleans. The flagships in Baton Rouge, these are the B schools. Like the Saints are the big franchise on Airline Drive, the Pelicans are the B team. The Saints will always be #1. There's no way for the Pelicans to be equal or get bigger. And, you could say, well, the NFL is always bigger than the NBA. I'm sure there's an NBA team like the Lakers that's much more valuable than the Saints. So you can make an NBA team great. Lots of NBA teams that have bigger value than the Saints, even though the NFL is a much bigger league than the NBA. No, they can be equal. They never will be. The Saints, that's the bread and butter. The Pelicans are like, wow, this extra major league franchise we have. What's going on there, Mario? Nothing?
No, nothing. It's just
oh, gotcha. Okay.
Settings that we don't need to adjust.
Anyway. No, LSU Baton Rouge will be the flagship, and UNO will always be the B team. Never equal, never bigger. I'm an LSU grad, class of 91. I know what LSU Baton Rouge is. There's no confusion. It's LSU. It's purple and gold. It's the Fighting Tigers. I'm hoping academics one day catch up to athletics. Love the athletics. First class. Hope academics can get there. Everyone knows LSU's identity. As an LSU grad, class of 91, New Orleans native, UNO, I get the getting rid of the UNO thing. We've talked about this for months on the program. The UNO name's going to be going bye-bye. I don't have a problem with that. You shouldn't either. It's confusing. Uno, Spanish for one. UNO, the pizza joint up in Chicago that's, all over the internet. I mean, if you put UNO on like at UNO, it puts up a trademark. Because they're thinking about the pizza place. No, not the school. If you Google UNO, it puts up, what is it? Nebraska Omaha will come up, not University of New Orleans. So I get it. I mean, I was suggesting like New Orleans University, like Boston U, New Orleans U. The key is the New Orleans name stays. It's the main breadwinner. It's the juice. The New Orleans name it's known worldwide. The LSU brand, incredible. Different topic, apples to oranges. LSU's fantastic brand. Known nationwide, known in a lot of parts of the world. They've done a great job marketing LSU. Utilizing athletics to market the school, the university. Brilliant. I think the name New Orleans is a little bit bigger around the world than the name LSU. I think the name New Orleans is bigger around the country than LSU. I think the name New Orleans is bigger around the region than LSU. I think the name New Orleans is bigger in the state of Louisiana than LSU. It's unbelievable. It's beyond apples and oranges. And I love LSU. I bleed purple and gold. It has nothing to do with like bashing LSU. It's about UNO losing its identity and wasting this New Orleans thing you could be marketing. No, but it's about ego and LSU wanting to keep UNO at number 2 and Jeff Landry and his control of the LSU board. All this has been going on behind the scenes for months. And it's unbelievable that you name a new president, you name a chancellor, position that didn't even exist a day or two ago. Yet you still go through with this transition meeting about UNO going under the LSU system. Maybe the new president and chancellor had some ideas or input that might be needed. But it's all a bunch of yes men. Everything's already in the till. It's coming out. There's no stopping it. Maybe there's a way. Maybe, as Piper Hutchinson alluded, that meeting for the transition, because it's dopey Louisiana politicians, ready, fire, aim, did not have it publicly listed. It's a public meeting, had to be listed by 9 a.m. the day before. They weren't listing it at all. Piper Hutchinson said, guys, it's a public meeting. It needs to be listed. They ignored her for most of the day. And then by 4 p.m., way past the 9 a.m. deadline, they announced that it was a public meeting. Some people may have not been able to come the next day. I mean, at the very least, if they're announcing it 4 p.m., push it back a day to Thursday, to today. Today, Wednesday, excuse me, but it was yesterday, Tuesday. So there might be a legal in where the meeting was illegal. What went down at the meeting doesn't count. Now, if I'm UNO folks in New Orleans, two things. I acknowledge the UNO name needs to go. The things Corey talked about, hard to market it, all that kind of stuff. But the New Orleans part needs to stay. It's just sort of flipping it around. The NO moves to the front, the U moves to the back. New Orleans University, like Boston U. And then you can come up with, you want different colors, great, just not purple and gold. You don't get rid of the silver and blue for purple and gold. That's exactly what happened. UNO officially loses its identity. LSU at New Orleans. The UNO name is done. The LSU brand is in, like LSUS, LSUE, LSUNO. Silver and blue gone. Purple and gold is in. I'm not kidding you. It's crazy. It's LSU, the Baton Rouge LSU, logo with New Orleans underneath it. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, like me, a proud LSU grad, bleeds purple and gold, has nothing negative to say about LSU.
No, not at all. But that was gross. The privateer logo with the purple and gold, like, that's just gross to me.
No, it's like it's a B team to LSU. It's LSU junior.
Yeah, it's no need. And they beat TCU on the road in basketball, by the way. Shout out to UNO. They might beat LSU too, because they play them in Baton Rouge in a few weeks.
Master P.
Hell yeah. So not cool. Not
Getting
agree.
involved. No, it's not. No, and they're losing their identity. And where are the UNO grads? You know, I know there's not a lot of, you know, UNO grads talk about, you know, proud, you know, we're the part we're the reason there's a middle class in New Orleans, all this stuff. I don't see the UNO grads at sporting events. You know, Scott Craig and a couple of dozen others. Scott Craig from Katie's is a proud UNO person. Yeah, we're going to get him on the program to discuss this. This is insane. Speaking of proud UNO grads, he often says it. Clancy Dubos will join us in the 5 o'clock power hour to discuss this. We'll also get his take on an insane 10 days in Baton Rouge, speaking about LSU. Insane. Brian Kelly gets fired. The governor's mansion meeting. Governor Landry says Scott Woodward will not select the next football coach. Governor Landry, LSU fires Scott Woodward. Rouse named president. Verge Osbury named AD. UNO transition meeting. The latest and greatest is LSU President Roos talking about AD Verge Osbury taking the interim title off, yet he's still interim. Tyler Bridges joins us next to talk about all of that.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. As New Orleans as coffee in the morning and as New Orleans as coffee in the morning and raw oysters for lunch. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Wow. UNO officially losing its identity today. LSU at New Orleans. I guess it's official in July, but the LSU transition team with the board taking on this topic pretty quickly. It's crazy, really insane the last 10 days in Baton Rouge. Brian Kelly fired after that governor's mansion meeting. Governor Landry saying Scott Woodward will not select the next football coach. Then Landry or LSU firing Woodward. Roos named LSU systems president, and a job that didn't exist about 36 hours ago goes to the runner-up. Roos names or Roos removes the interim AD tag from Verge Osbury and makes him the full-time AD, and then says, I'll remove the interim title, then we'll assess the situation. I don't know, maybe that how is that removing the interim title? I don't know. And then, the UNO transition meeting that I led off with, that goes down like, let's not push it back. Let's get some input from the president and the new chancellor. Let's just go with this. Seems like the fix is in on a lot of things. Governor Landry's hands in a lot of things. This guy has been covering Louisiana politics for a long, long time. I want to say he was down with the Miami Herald for a while as well. He'll fill us in on all that. Tyler Bridges is with us. Tyler, how are you, man?
Good afternoon, Corey.
A pleasure. Hey, how many years with the Times-Picayune? How many years in New Orleans? And what other places have you been?
Right. So I was a reporter with the Times-Picayune in the 90s, and I went to the Miami Herald and covered Miami and Florida politics. I went to South America, was a foreign correspondent there. I then did a one-year fellowship at Harvard, and then I decided in 2012, of all the cities in the world I could live, I want to be back in New Orleans. And I started with The Lens as a digital news site. And then for about 10 years now, I've been working for The Advocate and it's The Advocate and the Times-Picayune now. Yep. And I'm the chief political reporter. And it is just never dull.
Nope. Bad Bet on the Bayou. Lots of books too, right?
Yeah. I've written 5 books. People could, if they're interested, tylerbridges.com is my webpage. Yeah. 3 of my books are on Louisiana politics. The third of those is called Long Shot. It tells how John Bell Edwards pulled off that incredible victory in 2015 to become governor. And I also did a book about my dad, his heroism during World War II as a bomber pilot. And then the final book was on this crazy college football game of 43 years ago. It's the wildest, craziest finish ever to a college football game. So yeah, I get to do that on the side and then cover Louisiana politics during my day job.
Now, sorry to not know. I'm assuming the wildest finish, the Stanford band, That's
it.
Yeah,
that's right. And I was actually in the Stanford band, but I graduated just a year before. So I was not on the field that day, but a lot of my friends were. And so I ended up interviewing 375 people to write that book. And I just hear the best things about what people say about what I did. So it feels really good.
That's great. It's a good thing maybe you weren't on the field. You might have been playing your instrument and got the writing hand broken. by a
Well,
football player.
I was a trombone player, Corey, and the guy who gets run over in the end zone was a trombone player. In fact, the name of the book is 5 Laterals and a Trombone.
Wow, that's excellent. Tyler Bridges is with us. Hey, that fellowship at Harvard for the year, was it a Neiman fellowship?
It was a Neiman, yeah. They take 24 journalists from around the world, and they pay you to study anything you want at Harvard. It's a dream fellowship.
Yep, I know a guy that did that. Had Zbigniew Zabrinski as a teacher, Henry Kissinger, audited those classes all for free. Incredible opportunity for a year. Norman Robinson did that, I believe.
He did, and he played the euphonium in the Harvard marching band.
Wow, incredible. Tyler, speaking of incredible, that's an insane week and a half in Baton Rouge, huh? Even by your standards, even by your 40 years doing this?
Yeah, I did a story for the newspaper this past Sunday about Jeff Landry's role in ousting athletic director Scott Woodward, and the headline for that story was "Fast and Blunt," and what Jeff Landry's role in that showed about his governing style. But certainly, you and I and others have seen the bad press for the governor in the Louisiana across the country. But this governor is I quoted him in my story. He says, "I don't move slow." He wants to he's willing to move fast and break things, kind of like President Trump, I got to say.
Yeah.
Do things in a different way. And now we've seen this with, I was in Baton Rouge yesterday with the selection of the new LSU president. Afterwards, there was a press conference and I said to the new president and the board chair, I said, you went into executive session to choose the next president and you came out with a new president and a new chancellor for LSU campus in Baton Rouge. And that was not a development I think any of us expected.
No, and I think that's had to be somewhat planned. It didn't happen in, 15 minutes. Dalton wasn't like, oh, yeah, great idea. I'll do that. Got a lot to discuss, Tyler. It really was an insane few weeks. Before we get into those specifics, you mentioned Jeff Landry. It is sort of a Donald Trump style, not only ideology and embracing MAGA and all that, but kind of the attitude, kind of the pompousness, and also asserting himself into everything. I mean, every important board in this state seems to be controlled now by Jeff Landry. He either reduced the number of the board, kept the governor's appointees at the same level, and made his appointees, the ones that are holdovers, they're either on board or they know they're out soon. Seems like a bunch of yes men on many, many boards, including the LSU Board of Supervisors.
Yeah, the governor got the legislature last year in his first year in office to pass a law saying that the incoming governor could choose the chairs of the various boards. Until now, the governor could only make appointments to the various boards, and the boards would choose who would be their chairman. But Governor Landry's view is, hey, I was elected governor, and in fact, I won in the first round. So I want to do things, and the people want me to do things. So he's pushing hard where he can to get more power to do the things that will promote his agenda. Now, we're seeing some backlash to it at LSU, but again, I think the governor's view is, look, the people elected me to do things, and I want to do things.
Brian Kelly getting fired. I mean, I think one can safely say, you correct me if I'm wrong, that the governor lied on this. When asked about the Manchin meeting, he said it was a lot of double talk, triple talk. We went there to talk about taxes. We went there to talk about who's paying for it. We went there to talk about who's responsible. We talked about, I have to be fiscally responsible. I'm the governor. All this kind of nonsense. And then what is believed to end up going down at that was the governor essentially saying Brian Kelly needs to go. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm actually going to disagree with you. My reporting tells me, Corey, that Scott Woodward fired Brian Kelly, that it was not the governor's decision to fire him, that I think the firing happened early in the afternoon on Sunday, and then the meeting at the mansion was afterwards to plan, okay, what do we do now? And I think they were trying to figure out what to do with Brian Kelly's contract. I think it's been I've seen various news accounts saying that Louisiana governors have, over the years, have been heavily involved in hiring and firing of coaches at LSU. I think that's overblown. It's happened once in a while. Of course, it happened big time from what we've all read with Huey Long.
Sure.
But again, my reporting is telling me that Jeff Landry did not fire Brian Kelly. He played the key role in ousting the athletic director, Scott Woodward, though.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. Governor Landry reportedly not a fan of Scott Woodward. Some say it's as simple as Scott Woodward's very liberal and Governor Landry doesn't like him because of that. But I think it cuts deeper, right, Tyler, that there's some history with them politically. Maybe Scott Woodward's connection to Pat Screen, the old mayor in in Baton Rouge, the mayor president, that kind of thing. Is there more to it than?
Yeah, I talked about this with James Carville, who is friends with Scott Woodward, and he said he's heard that a strike in Scott Woodward has been their friendship. There's been other things that we've heard. You remember that Governor Landry criticized the women's basketball team for not being on the court for the national anthem.
Yep.
Kim Mulkey was obviously not happy about that, about the governor's comments, and Scott Woodward backed his coach. And so I think we can assume that Jeff Landry didn't like that. And then there's also the governor wanted Woodward to rehire the former basketball coach, Will Wade. And that didn't happen. So I think there's various things that happen. I'm actually working on a big story for the weekend, Corey, and encourage your listeners to look for my story in the Times-Picayune and the Advocate about what happened at LSU yesterday and some other stuff.
Great.
That I'm piecing together. I don't want to reveal it yet.
No.
Exactly everything I'm working on, but
yeah.
I hope many of your listeners are subscribers to the paper. They get a great deal by reading our paper and finding out what's going on locally.
No, you kidding me? I'm looking forward to reading that. And if you did reveal it, I'd be running with it the rest of my show. So smart not to reveal it. Tyler Bridges is with us. Tyler, I'm going to take a quick break, come back for a few more minutes. Is that okay?
Yes.
Tyler Bridges with us. Check out his stuff. Really good stuff for decades and decades. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Yeah, Pat Screen introduced James Carville, from what I understand, to Woodward. We'll come right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Following the facts.
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time.
Corey Johnson.
Yeah, you right. Welcome back. Corey Johnson with the It'll 6. Tyler Bridges is with us. Hey, Tyler, like I said, an insane 10 days in Baton Rouge. Governor Landry wanted Scott Woodward out. Essentially, LSU or Governor Landry fires Woodward. And then the week just continues like without a hitch. It seemed like, I was talking about this for days, maybe the last week plus, that Roos, the McNeese State president, who, in my opinion, clearly isn't qualified for the job. Even the LSU Board of Supervisors, their prerequisites, R1 university, a guy with a research background, a professor, a tenured professor. He's 0 for 3 on all of these. This is strictly Jeff Landry appointing his boy from McNeese State to LSU. And how I try to relate it to the average person, Tyler, because I don't think people in Louisiana care too much about LSU academics necessarily, but they relate to LSU athletics. It would be like LSU athletics hiring a McNeese State coach to coach football or basketball or baseball. It would never happen, but they're hiring the McNeese State president to be the president of LSU. Your thoughts?
That's actually a good analogy. We were talking about James Carville a few minutes ago. I quoted James Carville in a story in my newspaper as saying that William Tate left LSU to go to the 41st ranked university in the country, Rutgers, and that LSU would be getting the president of McNeese State, the 80th ranked regional university in the South.
Wow. Yeah, it's going backwards a little bit, to say the least.
But I gotta point out that as we discussed before, Roos is not going to fulfill the same role that Tate and King Alexander had before that. He's only going to be the president of the system. He's also going to oversee LSU athletics, and but many of the traditional responsibilities that where Roos was lacking in terms of research and being real classroom experience, that James Dalton is now going to take over that role. So I think the solution that the board came up with, working with Roos and Dalton, is probably one that's going to satisfy at least some of the critics.
It just seems so weird, like the solution. It's like it's the LSU president's job. Seems like it should have been a nationwide search, a true nationwide search, maybe a outside company hired to do that search and narrowing the list down, and then local folks take over at that point. From what I understand, James Dalton was not even a finalist, that he was like a late addition after they had whittled down the list. Is that right?
Yeah, he was a late addition. I'm told that was because they felt like they needed someone with his background because of the criticism from faculty and students that they didn't have someone from a solid research institution. So
how's that possible, Tyler, when that job's available? They're scouring the country for someone that they don't have the prerequisites. I'm blown away. And how would that guy be a finalist if you had to bring in someone that could cover that ground? I'm lost on this.
Yeah, well, I think word spreads within higher education circles about the attractiveness of the position and as the governor's thumb on the scale. And that happened at Northwestern State last year when the governor maneuvered to get Supreme Court Justice Jimmy Genovese to resign from the Supreme Court to take the position at Northwestern State, his alma mater. But, he was not an academic at all. And Governor Landry then got to appoint a very respected guy named Cade Cole onto the Supreme Court. But, this governor, as we discussed, Corey, a few minutes ago, he wants to put his people in the jobs that he wants. And he doesn't do it openly and publicly, but he certainly is trying to get his people in there.
And the solution you mentioned that they came up with was essentially recreating the chancellor's gig.
Yeah, it's a system that LSU had previously, and it did run into some problems because the president of the system ran into some disagreements with the chancellor of LSU. But they are going back to that system, and clearly, Dr. Dalton from Alabama is much stronger in with the experience of running, with the idea of running the flagship university and the medical school, whereas Roos doesn't have that kind of background. So he's going to be probably more of a political role in overseeing the entire system.
I believe LSU fires Scott Woodward. Landry says they're going to immediately, the Board of Supervisors are going to get a committee together to find the best coach. From what I understand, Woodward and Verge Osbury had already started that process within the athletic department as AD and associate AD. And then within a few days, Verge Osbury goes from interim AD to the actual athletic director's position. Doesn't seem like.
I think that all happened yesterday. I think that happened. I think the board got together and said, look, if we're going to choose Roos as the president, we need to take the interim label off Osbury as the athletic director. But then, as you noted, Roos this morning made a comment. I saw it tweeted this morning by Piper Hutchinson, who's a reporter, good reporter, that he said, this is not necessarily a permanent position. And so you've got to wonder, of course, what does this all mean for the selection of the next head coach? Are the top candidates going to want to go to the university given all this uncertainty from the governor and the athletic director?
If that wasn't enough, you got a new president, new AD, all kind of craziness going on, still trying to find a football coach. This UNO transition meeting doesn't stop. They don't postpone it. They don't say, maybe we need to get the new president of the system, the new chancellor in Baton Rouge, their input. They just go forward with this UNO transition meeting. There's an agenda here, and they're not stopping, right?
Yeah, I don't know too much about what's happening at UNO, but again, it was certainly interesting yesterday at LSU with, again, the expectation they were just going to choose a new president, but they came up with a new president and changed the rules. And so now there's going to be a chancellor of the flagship university by itself.
Yep. Any final thoughts, Tyler, in the last week and a half, 10 days in Baton Rouge? I mean, the thing I get out of it most is what we kind of were talking about in the beginning, Jeff Landry just asserting his power everywhere.
Well, again, he's asserting his role, and again, I want to try to represent his point of view because that's what I do as a reporter. I think, in his view, is that people elected him to governor, and the existing rules we're not allowing him to fully govern, and so he's gonna make changes to allow him to put his people in place. But it's been a wild 10 days, as you said, Corey, in the last 10 days of what's happening at LSU, and it feels like things should be slowing down, but you just never know.
You got a piece coming out tomorrow, you said?
This weekend, yeah. Hope people will look for it in the Advocate, be in the Times-Picayune, either the print edition or online. And again, any of my books at tylerbridges.com.
tylerbridges.com. Tyler, a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Good talking to you again.
You too. tylerbridges.com. Check it out. No, looking forward to this weekend's big article on LSU from this guy, because he does a really good job. And he just mentioned Piper Hutchinson. He's like, yeah, good reporter. She is. She does a good job. And it's not easy. You got a lot of facts, a lot of information, a lot of stuff that isn't thrown out there to the public, that you have to get sources behind the scenes and trusted sources. And you've got to vet them. You have to check out what they're saying. You have to know the law. You have to know the history. It can be confusing. No, she does a really good job. And it reveals a lot of interesting things too. Like the meeting for the UNO transition arguably wasn't legal. It was supposed to be a public meeting. It wasn't listed publicly. The public wasn't, notified. Therefore, they couldn't participate. They're by law supposed to be able to participate if they choose to. Supposed to be posted by 9 a.m. She let LSU know, the governor's office know it wasn't posted. They posted by 4 p.m. It has to be posted by 9 a.m. They didn't delay yesterday's meeting. They should have pushed yesterday's meeting back to today to make it all legal. She talked about a few other things. I'm trying to think of what she said yesterday that was when we had her on, and some of her tweets. Just stuff that you gotta like. Everybody likes, the media stinks. The media is this, the media is biased. The media, first off, 80-90% of news isn't political. It's apolitical. Plane crashes, avalanche, city gets new park, whatever. Has nothing to do with politics. So it's people doing a great job. Thank goodness for the media. And then I love how people bash the media. And it's like, how are you informed? How do you know about this? Some media source, some outlet. No. So, it's easy to see who's extreme right, who's extreme left, who has an agenda. And it's easy to see who the people are that are trying their best to be fair and objective. They may lean right or left, but they're trying to be fair and objective. They're trying to do a journalistic job and provide us with information so we can make our own choices. And you have enough of these sources, just like journalists that have sources. We have sources of media. You have enough of these, you can come to a reasonable, logical, fact-based consensus on so many things. Anyway, no, thank goodness for Tyler Bridges and Piper Hutchinson. Thank goodness for all these investigative reporters. And Tyler Bridges has done a lot of that stuff, revealing things behind the scenes. No, thank goodness for, the Lee Zurichs, Travers Mackel, David Hammer. No, I don't know. I love when people bash media. I love when sports fans bash sports media when they're revealing something that might be negative about the team. What should they disclaim it? I'm sorry, fans. This isn't going to be good for the team or the fans. It's bad news, but I know it. Should I hide it till after the game? It's unbelievable. I'm an adult. I can handle the good and bad news about my sports teams and especially about the local real world. What's up, Mario B?
Yeah, I texted you. We're having not the stream. Everybody in the stream is good.
What, that the other one?
Yes.
Really?
The other one is frozen with the commercials. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if
I'd just power that thing down again.
I guess we'd stay on the air, but that's kind of all we can do right now.
Oh, wow. I got you.
Yeah. You'd stay on the stream, I think, for sure. So YouTube and Twitter.
And the Comrex is good?
I think it is. I think we're still on the air, but the computer is just frozen.
totally locked up.
Yeah, it's just completely
Wow.
frozen. It's never done this before.
Interesting.
If it does, it's for like a half a second. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
frozen.
that's weird.
So I guess I will just.
Computer number 2 sucking, huh?
Yeah, it's always.
I know, man. We
It's-
have to get another one. I have to
it's-
buy another computer, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, our engineer says to restart the computer, so I'll do that.
Oh, boy. All right. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Technical problems apparently in the studio. Oh, boy. You just got to keep on rolling. What can you do? I picked up these specs, these glasses from Art and Eyes on magazine. I don't know about you, but I wear prescription glasses, and I also like nice sunglasses. If you wear prescription eyewear or you're just looking for a great pair of sunglasses, don't go to the mall. Don't go to some national chain store. Get some eyewear that's as unique as you. Designer-driven eyewear, highest quality available. Not the stuff everybody else has made in China. Art and Eyes on magazine. About 4,000 different frames to choose from. Now, I learned about them on Google, believe it or not. Ended up going in there, getting a few pairs of glasses, and I've been going there now for years, and they became a client on the program. We have a great relationship. Paul, his wife Star, Art and Eyes on magazine. Google them. Now, I literally got a new prescription for my glasses. Was getting every like 3-4 years, I'll go to the eye doctor, get a new prescription. You know, my eyes get a little worse, a little. And then I get new glasses, a new pair of prescription glasses, a new pair of sunglasses, and just rinse and repeat about every 3-4 years, do it over and over again. I was like, I don't want the same old crap. So I Googled high-end designer eyewear in New Orleans. Art and Eyes came up. I'm like, what is this place? I'm telling you, you go in there, if you travel, you know, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, they don't have a place like this. You got to go to like San Francisco, LA, New York, maybe Paris. It's incredible. Designer-driven frames from the United States, from Europe, from Japan. Highest quality available. All different price points, too. Star and Paul just got back from Japan. They go to Germany. They go to these eyewear frame factories. They just brought a line in from Japan that's only sold in Japan, not in Europe, nowhere else in the United States, in Japan, and at Art and Eyes on magazine in New Orleans. No, like I said, all different price points, as good as it gets. Oh, $55.38, my brother. Art and Eyes on magazine. So good. Just a great place. I love them. I like I also said, I don't mean to belabor the point. I would keep a pair of glasses for like 3 years, 4 years, get a new pair. I'd have one pair of prescription glasses, one pair of prescription sunglasses. I've got about 4 pairs of prescription glasses and about 5 pairs of prescription sunglasses now. I'm not kidding you, like 10, 11 pairs of frames with prescription lenses from Art and Eyes on magazine. Now, I remember the first time I went in and I just got one pair. I see these other people like, this is my 5th pair. I'm like, who buys like 5 pairs of glasses? Me. No, because you just fall in love with the frames. You go in there, you'll end up picking out like 6, 8 pairs that you love. Then you whittle it down to like 4 and then 2. And then you got to pick that one set and then you're just happy as can be. Like these. I love these. Sporty, made in Japan, really tough. Limited edition, maybe one of 300 made. Art and Eyes on magazine. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X, at the controls. He's like me. LSU graduate, proud LSU fan, bleed purple and gold. Don't understand LSU's obsession with UNO. Right, Mario, bro?
Yeah, it's really bad. I made the point in the earlier segment about the colors just looking gross. Like seeing the privateer in purple
and gold. I know, it's
just,
ridiculous. It's like LSU Junior. It's sad,
yeah,
man.
it's very like elitist, and it's been such a bad week for our school, man.
I'm shocked like UNO folks in New Orleans aren't freaking out about this.
Yeah, I'm sure Chef Scotty is somewhere. He should
Yeah,
be.
no, very few. That's the problem. The UNO fan base is Chef Scott Craig from Katie's and Francesca and 19 other people.
Yeah.
19 others.
And I got love for that school. My sister,
of course.
My sister graduated from there.
So did so many other people.
They gave me the opportunity to do play-by-play for men and women's basketball. That was my first time ever calling college basketball. I'll never forget that. I did some PA. That's a good school that has like you said, not enough of it, but some school pride. So for the people that I know that do love UNO like that, it's really sad to see.
No, it is. Yeah. LSU is a great brand. New Orleans is a greater brand. LSU is known at a lot of places. UNO, New Orleans, I should say, is known everywhere. Now, all they needed to do is take the U off the front and put it on the back end.
We're all good. You can either take a break or you go top of the hour. Up to you.
Oh, no, we just keep rolling, Mario.
Might as well. All right.
Why not?
Yep. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I wonder why that thing crashed.
I don't know. I'm just that's funny.
Maybe we need to stick those in that one.
It's just hilarious that we finally fixed this and have no issues.
No, we have two main computers. We have other ones as well, but two main ones in the studio.
The stream one,
the streaming one just couldn't handle like streaming, especially when we enhanced it, going on to like multiple platforms and stuff, and then literally just like waiting for this thing to smoke and implode in here, and we just got rid of it and got a nice Lenovo laptop that is made for streaming. You know, paid too much money.
Yeah, you're a pro though, man. Like part of this business inevitably is stuff is gonna mess up. And I've seen so many hosts when it does, even if it's something small, like freak out. You just keep right on going. As a producer, that is very respected.
I don't know. What are you supposed to do?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Tell that to everybody else I've worked with.
No, I mean, one could argue you don't even tell me anything. We're not even discussing this right now.
Exactly.
But I mean, I'm prepared and talk about this stuff for 4 hours if I have to.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's the key. Two things. I mean, it's like public speaking. I used to love when I'd be like at LSU or high school, whatever, and be in a public speaking class, and someone would go learn about a new topic to do their speech on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, boy, you're not familiar with it. You just learned about it. So it's not something you know backwards and forwards. And you're going to have to sit up there and be like, and the third point is, you're like, what's the third point? Oh, yeah. And then, you know, your speech isn't going to be as smooth.
Yeah.
So talk about something that you know a pretty good amount about that you can do some more research on and hone it in, or something that you know a ridiculous amount about and almost don't have to do any research, where speaking about it comes naturally.
Yes, exactly. Where at least your thoughts come naturally. People may or may not disagree with it, but you know what you are talking about.
And this kind of show, like, I mean, what I do, news, talk, politics, New Orleans, it's like, you know, learning Spanish or math. You can cram at the end of, 6 weeks and try to learn it all in one night. If you're lucky, you'll retain enough to pass the test the next day, but you won't learn it or retain it long term. If you take little bites every day, 15 minutes, you'll learn Spanish, you'll learn the math, and you'll retain it long term. So I'm taking little bites of this crap every day, all the time. I go on vacation. I have trouble putting my phone down because I'm still following news just by habit. It's what I do. I like it. It's my job. It works out, but it's not like, so I know all this stuff.
Yep.
I'm not learning it for the first day. So speaking about it, I know it. It's easy.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, because I think I have a sports analogy for that too. Like I am not a very big fan of baseball. I'll be candid with you and the audience. Like I think it's kind of a slow paced.
Me too.
Sport.
I'm the same way.
I think the players are dramatic, like they're really emotional. But being on radio in Baton Rouge and trying to be a play-by-play person, I have to cover baseball. It's kind of part of the job, especially hosting a show.
Well, here we like college baseball better than at Major League Baseball.
Exactly. But I think two sports, baseball and soccer, to appreciate those sports, the slow pace and nuances of it, you almost have to grow up with it. Those are two sports that are very hard to just get into, be passionate about, and what you said, like be that knowledgeable, because I just got into the sport. Like I know a lot of friends that love baseball and love soccer, but they all grew up with it. I know very few people that kind of just accepted those sports and became passionate about them.
That's Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, our in-house sports expert. That's gravy. It's as good as it gets. Can always, tap into his knowledge whenever we want. UNO officially loses its identity. It's LSU at New Orleans. The UNO name is done. The LSU brand is in, like LSUS, LSUE, Eunice, LSU New Orleans. Silver and blue gone. Purple and gold is in. It's crazy. Proud UNO alum Clancy Dubos will join us in 20 minutes to discuss, and his opinion about this might surprise you. An insane 10 days in Baton Rouge. Speaking of Baton Rouge, the city of New Orleans officials in Baton Rouge trying to revive that $125, $150 million loan. Wide Open Wednesday. Corey Johnson with you. Dinner tonight. How about Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville? My God, Corey's been talking about these guys every day for months now. It must be good. It's not good. It's not very good. It's excellent. It's one of the city's premier dining destinations in the metro. I'm not kidding you. I mean, you love Irene's or Bayona or Brightson's or Le Petit Grocery or Clancy's or whatever your favorite high-end great restaurants are in New Orleans, then you're going to absolutely love Gallagher's 527. Steaks and lamb chops sizzling in butter, lots of great local seafood dishes, all with a New Orleans flair, like the seafood gumbo or the turtle soup, as good as anywhere in the city, the best you can get. Maybe there's some as good, none better. I'm not kidding you. I talk about that crab meat St. Francis appetizer, the best hot crab meat appetizer in the world, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Lunch Tuesday through Friday, dinner Tuesday through Saturday. Get there tonight. Get there tomorrow for lunch. So good. You'll love it, and you'll be going back regularly, I promise you, because it's that good. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. 5 o'clock power hour next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, you're right. 5 o'clock power hour's upon us. If you missed the last hour, you missed Tyler Bridges with the Times-Picayune coming up in about 15 minutes, less than that, about 12 minutes away. Clancy Dubos, UNO graduate's going to join us. Crazy stuff going on in Louisiana, just a bunch of political nonsense. And, you know, you can be like for these politicians and you don't mind what they're doing and you think this is okay, but it could easily be an ideology you don't like. And that ideology that you don't like, those politicians with overreach, going too far and doing something you don't like. So, I mean, I know it's hard for people that like it, and it's easy for people that don't like it to, you know, complain. The people that like it to think it's not a big deal. But that's the problem with politics in general, with the extremes, the left and right. They contribute to this. But I think moderate folks on the left and right, folks that are independent, folks that are in the middle, I think they see that, yeah, it doesn't matter if my people are in control and what they're doing, I think, is a benefit if it's an overreach, if it's possibly unconstitutional, if it is at least morally and ethically wrong, where, you know, just kind of breaking the general rules of how things are done. And if you're like, Corey, that's the problem. We got to break the rules to change the system. Yeah. And then if it was the opposite ideology, you'd be complaining about it. So there has to be some kind of reasonable space where you don't cross that line. And this governor likes crossing the line. He likes asserting himself into everything. Can't help himself. Power hungry. Likes controlling every board, every decision. Not only appoints the people on the board, forget the board announcing the chairman. I'm going to pick the chairman. I'm in control. So no, it's a problem. I mean, UNO has officially lost its identity. I'm blown away that UNO people in New Orleans aren't freaking out. Like they don't mind becoming LSU Junior, LSU's little sub-campus in New Orleans. I don't get it. Instead of UNO embracing the New Orleans identity and becoming a monster. Now it's like the Saints with the Pelicans. The Pelicans will never be equal to the Saints. The Pelicans will always be the, you know, second fiddle, ugly stepchild, redhead stepchild, whatever, of the Saints. Always. Pelicans will never be equal or better. Never. Never. They'll always be second. Always. Same thing with UNO to LSU. They'll never be equal, bigger, always be second. And UNO should have tremendous enrollment and be a gigantic academic school. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx at the controls.
Pelicans are awful. I stand by all my critiques the last few weeks, but I do want to point out they won last night. They won
They did. They won by 2.
Yes.
Over what, like Charlotte?
Yes.
Yeah, Charlotte's terrible.
It was a luxury tax bowl. Remember Schmidt saying
those are the only teams that have never paid into the luxury tax.
Yep, Pels won.
And every NBA winner of the championship is either that year, the year before, the year after, paying a luxury tax.
Every last one, yeah.
Every NBA champion.
Mm-hmm.
You got a luxury tax either that season, the next, or the one before.
Yes.
You're surrounded by a luxury tax season, at least one.
Yeah.
If you're an NBA champion.
You got to have good players and good veteran players. It's not as simple as just like going and getting, highly paid players. There has to be a balance, but you can't be cheap like those organizations have been. You're never going to succeed if you do that.
No, it's mind-blowing.
It is. So is the Pelicans winning last night. So still bad, but enjoy the win.
Yep. Boy, what a great email I just received. I wonder if the hesitation on Ausberry might be Landry just learning that Verge is Mark Morial's brother-in-law. Like, I guess Verge Ausberry's married to Mark Morial's sister.
Wow, that's interesting.
No, it is.
I had no
That's
idea.
one liberal AD coming
Yeah.
from a liberal family.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good email from TR.
We are family.
Yep. No, UNO officially loses its identity. LSU at New Orleans. The UNO name is done. The LSU brand is in. Just like LSU Shreveport, LSU Eunice, LSU New Orleans. Silver and blue, gone. Purple and gold is in. I mean, LSU is a great brand. I'm an LSU grad. I love my time there. I love LSU. I bleed purple and gold. Go Tigers. Class of 91. Got the diploma to prove it. The LSU brand is incredible. Nationwide, even some parts of the world. The New Orleans brand is better. It's bigger. Anyone thinks that LSU competes with New Orleans in branding is delusional, is out of their friggin' mind. It's not even apples to oranges. It's apples to cinder blocks. It's crazy. LSU does a great job in branding. They're known nationwide. They're known in some parts of the world. Wherever you go anywhere, New Orleans is bigger and known more. It's not even close. You can go in the middle of LSU's campus on the parade ground, and New Orleans is known more. Ask that person. No, known more in Baton Rouge, known more in New Orleans, known more in the state, known more in the region, in the country, in the world. I mean, it's dopey to even talk about this. New Orleans is a beloved brand name that everybody on planet Earth basically knows. LSU does an incredible job of branding. Better than most universities in America. But you can't compare them. So to just sort of 86 the, New Orleans name, essentially make it secondary instead of primary, and then add the LSU name, like that solves all the problems. I think if UNO would have known this is the outcome of going from the UL system to the LSU system, they probably would have stayed in the UL system. At least they would have kept their identity. And probably could have presented a proposal to the UL system. Hey, we're going to change our name to New Orleans University. We're going to rebrand. But this benefits LSU and Baton Rouge and really doesn't benefit UNO. Clancy Dubos, a proud UNO graduate, is going to join us in 5 minutes. His opinion on this may surprise you. Boy, an insane 10 days in Baton Rouge. Crazy. As wild as it's ever been. Brian Kelly fired, that governor's mansion meeting, Governor Landry, Scott Woodward will not select the next football coach. He should have said Scott Woodward's not going to, make decisions on much. 24 hours later, Scott Woodward fired by Governor Landry, by LSU. Governor Landry's essentially hand-picked successor for LSU president, Wade Roos, named LSU systems president, a job that did not even exist at the time, created on the fly, at least appearance-wise created on the fly. Probably this is all pre-planned. The fix was in. James Dalton, trying to get the LSU systems gig that Wade Roos gets, accepts a secondary job as the chancellor in Baton Rouge. Just weird. Verge Ausberry named athletic director. Roos today or yesterday says, I'll remove the interim title, then we'll assess the situation. Wow. I think that pretty much means he's the interim AD. It doesn't mean he's the permanent AD. We're going to go from him being interim AD to permanent AD, and then we're going to assess the situation to see if we want to keep him as permanent AD. Just crazy. That's Wade Roos's essential first comments as president of LSU. Totally contradictory. After all this, the UNO transition meeting goes down. It goes down. They don't miss a beat. Crazy. Crazy. Speaking of Baton Rouge, the city of New Orleans officials in Baton Rouge trying to revive that $125, $150 million loan. Corey Johnson with you. Wide open Wednesday. Yeah, you right. Clancy Dubos a few minutes away. Audubon Gutters came to my house about a week ago. They installed gutters on my house a year ago. And then, I'm not kidding you, like about a month later, I'm like, my little shed in the back, my garage, it's like my house, same kind of build, has a roof. I didn't get gutters on it. So I called Drew and his crew. I'm like, I need gutters. Came right out. Drew came, did an assessment. Next day, Audubon Gutters truck pulls up. They're putting on the Leaf Guard system gutters. Let me tell you about the Leaf Guard real quick. The only one-piece seamless debris shedding gutter on the market today. This competition you hear about isn't competition. There's no competition. It's not an add-on screen or cover. It's literally part of the gutter. Screens and gutters trap leaves and debris. Someone still has to get on a ladder and clean them off. Check out the commercial for the so-called competitor. You can see the leaves trapped in the screen or cover. Not with the Leaf Guard system. It's all one piece, seamless. All in one thing. That's what Audubon Gutters brings the best. 35 years. All they do is gutters. AudubonGutters.com. Mario Brothers, aka Latin X, at the controls. Corey Johnson with you. All the way till 6 o'clock. Clancy Dubos joins us next. Yeah, we'll talk about this UNO officially losing its identity. LSU at New Orleans. That's ridiculous.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
You're on the neutral ground
You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
with Corey Johnson.
Welcome back. Corey Johnson with you all the way till 6 o'clock. UNO officially loses its identity. LSU at New Orleans. The UNO name is gone. It's done. The LSU brand is in, like LSUS, like LSUE, LSUNO. Silver and blue gone. Purple and gold is in. It's the LSU logo, LSU, the purple and gold colors, and then under it, New Orleans. You know my opinion on this. This guy is one of the most well-known UNO grads. Well, he's a public figure. He's, a political pundit. He's been doing this for decades and decades. A journalist in New Orleans, does editorials on Channel 4, has been doing editorials in Gambit since he founded it decades and decades ago. And he often says, I'm a proud UNO grad. UNO is the reason New Orleans has a middle class, things of that nature. Clancy Dubos joins us. How you doing, Clancy?
I'm well, Corey. Thank you for that lovely introduction. I will, if you don't mind, one small correction.
Please.
My wife and I did not found Gambit. We acquired it about 5 years, or let me say, about 10 years after it was founded. But other than that, the decades and decades just proves that I'm old.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, who founded Gambit, and when did you guys acquire it?
It was founded by Gary Easelin and Philip Carter. Gary was the managing partner in a limited partnership. He was the editor and publisher, and Philip Carter, who came from the Carter family in Greenville, Mississippi, a Pulitzer Prize-winning paper up there, the Delta Democrat Times. Philip had previously founded and edited and published the Vieux-Carré Courier, and then became the New Orleans Courier. And that folded, and some years later, he and Gary created Gambit. Philip was the investor, and Gary was the operator, and they sold it to an outfit out of Norfolk, Virginia, called Landmark Publishing, Landmark Communications. They owned a string of weeklies across the South, some dailies, and they also owned a little company called The Weather Channel, which they sold for, I think, $4 billion later. So a very highly respected company, and under them, my wife Margot was trained to be the publisher, and they decided to get out of the alt weekly business, and they offered it to us, and we bought it in February of '81, about 10 years after it was founded.
And just a few years ago, sold it to George's and the Times-Picayune people, right?
Correct. Actually, John George's bought the Times-Picayune after he bought Gambit, but within a year, I think, but not long after. Yeah.
Hey, Clancy, I noticed on
advocate at the time, but yeah.
I noticed on your Twitter X, you mentioned something about Montana. I know a lot of New Orleans folks. I mean, if you can pull this off, living in New Orleans, maybe September through May or something, and maybe Memorial Day, heading out a town, heading up north and coming back on Labor Day. Is that what you do with Montana?
Well, not quite, but that would be a dream. Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
we do spend quite a bit of time during the summer months. I think on my X account it said my idea of perfection or heaven is Montana in the summer and New Orleans the rest of the year, or something like that, and eating New Orleans food in Montana in the summer, or something like that. But we enjoy both places. We're still very, we live in New Orleans. This is our home. It's where Margot and I were born, where we raised our sons, where our oldest son and his beautiful wife are raising our so far only grandchild. We hope for more. And it's where our youngest son lives and his beautiful new wife. They just got married. I want to say new wife, it's his only wife, but they recently married 2 months ago. So that we all live out in the Lakeview area, Lakeview lakefront area, and so we got deep roots here in New Orleans. But we like to get up to Montana too sometimes when we can.
Like you, I'm a native. Like you, I've been doing editorials and opinion type stuff for years. Not as long.
Well, it was your dad who inspired me to do this. I hope you know.
We've had that conversation. I love the
yeah.
story. That's a great story. He gave you more time than you thought and had some good advice for you.
Best advice I ever got. And yeah, well, he asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I want to be you. I want to give my opinion on Channel 4. I never dreamed that 40 years later, almost to the day, it happened.
Took a little while, but you got it done, man. That's what's
I
important.
was a slow learner. I wasn't as quick as your dad, but I'm glad I got there.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Yeah. Hey, Clancy, my quick thoughts. Instead of asking you a question, I'm going to give you my quick thoughts, and I'm just going to let you run with it because I know you have just kind of unlimited knowledge almost on this topic, and it's near and dear to your heart. UNO, in my opinion, officially lost its identity today. I think this is just a big power play by the governor and LSU people. I've been talking about this for a few months. First, it was going to be UNO changing their name and that LSU was going to be part of it. And, the UNO name was a problem. Uno, Spanish one. You Google UNO, it pulls up Nebraska to Omaha, UNO pizza. It was kind of confusing. So I was like, change it to New Orleans University, like Boston University. The key is the New Orleans brand. It's known around the world. I think LSU has an incredible brand.
You say it, we lost our name today. What happened today? I've been in meetings all day. Forgive me. So bring me up to speed. I did get brought up to speed on what happened with the city and the state on the bond sale, so I'm up with that. But I don't know what happened today with regard to UNO/LSU/LSU.
Well, no, we're kind of like on the same page. Just
today, would they officially change the name? I'm unaware of that.
No, I think officially it would be July of next year, but the LSU board had a meeting about this UNO transition to the LSU system. That'll happen in July, officially leaving the UL system. But in the meantime, they showed branding of the new school and new name. It's the LSU purple and gold letters in the block print. And then under them, it says New Orleans. And then it's New Orleans Privateers. The University of New Orleans is done, and it's now LSU at New Orleans, going back to the olden days, the original name.
The original name. That's the thing to remember. It is the original name. But go ahead. I know you have some more thoughts if you want to share them.
No, I just think that the board got involved. I think, the LSU brand's incredible. I'm a graduate of LSU, but I'm a New Orleans native. And I just think, UNO, 18,000 students 20 years ago. Now they're down to under 5,000. I think UNO should be a powerhouse. It should be 40, 50, 60,000 students like University of Central Florida, South Florida. They're bigger than Florida or Florida State. They have tremendous enrollment, 50, 60, 70,000 students. It's not UNO competing against LSU. It's UNO being their own thing, utilizing the New Orleans name, which is known around the world. The LSU brand's incredible. I'm a proud grad, but UNO, the New Orleans name is bigger. So I just think this is a power play. It makes it LSU Junior. I think it's LSU wanting to control UNO, always second. I made this comparison, Clancy. The Saints are always number one. The Pelicans will always be number two. They're owned by Gail Benson. The Pelicans will never be equal to the Saints or bigger than the Saints. They'll always be secondary. UNO just entered a world where they'll always be secondary to LSU. I'd love to hear what you think about all this.
Well, first, let me ask you a question. Was UNO primary to ULL under the UL system?
Primary meaning what? Like that ULL cared and emphasized them?
Do you think we were treated equally to the University of Louisiana Lafayette?
Definitely not, but at least UNO had its own identity and it wasn't UL New Orleans.
Okay. So let's talk about UNO's identity. And, I love UNO. I actually I graduated from Holy Cross High School in 1972. I enrolled in that, 3 months later in August of 72 at LSUNO. In the middle of my tenure there as a student, almost exactly in the middle, the name changed officially, or the transition came to UNO. But it was still a part of the LSU system. So let's talk numbers here for a second, just to kind of put this is not an opinion. I'm just throwing some facts out here that we can think about as we think about this rebranding. UNO had the LSU in its name for approximately 16 years. That's about 20% of its existence, because UNO is like 76 or 77 years old right now. So it's had LSU NO, it was known as LSU NO for about 20% of its lifetime. But it was part of the LSU system for 80% of its lifetime. Even though it was called UNO, it didn't leave the LSU system until around 2010 or 2011. Now, it's asking to be brought back into the LSU system. It asked to leave, and it was granted permission to leave, and now it's asking to come back. The thing about the UL system, and I promise you, everybody in higher ed agrees with this. This is not debatable. This is a fact, not an opinion. The LSU system is a system. The Southern system is smaller, but it is still a system. The University of Louisiana system is not a system. It's a confederation. It's like Italy in the 1850s with a handful of city-states competing against each other, calling themselves a country, but they're a country in name only at that time. I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about in the 1800s, middle of 1800s, Italy, and before that, medieval Italy was a confederation of city-states. That's what the UL system is. It is not a system. It's a system in name only. It's every university or every man or woman for himself in the UL system. And UNO actually fared worse under that system than it did under LSU. That's a fact. And that plus the fact that it was originally LSUNO, that was its original name. It was always intended to be part of the LSU system. And at UNO's request, they changed the name. And then at UNO's request, they thought they'd be treated better in the UL system. They weren't. So they asked to be brought back. LSU allowed them to leave in a sense. Legislature made the change, but LSU didn't fight it. And LSU didn't fight them coming back. I think LSU's actually welcoming them back. Now, another thing to remember, when I was at UNO.
Hey, Clancy, hold that thought real quick. Another thing to remember, and when you were at UNO, I'm going to come right back. I've just got this set break at 32 after the hour. Yeah. Clancy Dubos is with us. We're coming right back. Corey Johnson with you till 6 p.m. Don't move. A lot more coming your way.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
This is a hell of a lot easier than when I delivered pizza in New Orleans. What the hell? We're all just blocking the street. We're all just blocking the street. Come on, I gotta deliver this pizza. We're all just blocking the street. Screw it. We won't stop blocking the street. Never stop blocking the street.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Welcome back. Corey Johnson with you. Don't forget about Katie's tonight for dinner. Looking for a great place for dinner? It's Wednesday night, heading towards the weekend. Outdoor dining, the new patio with a 90-plus inch flat screen. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? In Mid-City, Iberville, corner Tallahassee. As New Orleans as it gets tonight for dinner, make it Katie's. Scott Craig, a huge UNO supporter. So is Clancy Dubos, a proud UNO grad.
Say the owner of Katie's is a very proud UNO grad like me.
He
Good
really
guy,
is.
too.
It's you, it's Scott Craig,
Me
and
I
it's
are fraternity brothers. In fact,
No,
There
you-
go. You got that going too. So.
you, Scott Craig, and 19 other people in the city very vocal about their love for UNO.
Well, so anyway, we were talking about branding. We're about to shift gears and talk about branding.
Yes.
LSU, when I was a student at LSUNO, to the extent that it had a brand, it was not a great brand, not like it is today. I mean, it had a brand, but that was back in the days of open admissions and LSU. I mean, it had some very bright spots. You had T. Harry Williams in the history department. I know that because I majored in history at UNO, and I had the good fortune to actually interview T. Harry at one point. But, LSU had some great teachers in various departments, but it wasn't academically as well respected as it is today. It has come a long way, and it has, I think, a very fine academic reputation. LSUNO had a very fine academic reputation. UNO has produced and still has, I think, a very fine academic reputation, but it has been tarnished by its financial problems, as any university would be. But I think there's an opportunity here because, You could go anywhere in the world. You could be getting off a plane in Hong Kong or South Africa or Austria, and if you see an LED, ad somewhere in the airport that says LSU with the purple field and the golden LSU letters and the logo, you don't have to be from Louisiana to know what that brand is. It is recognizable around the world. That wasn't so in the 1970s, but it is today. So I think that adopting the LSU name, which costs UNO nothing, and the LSU colors, which costs UNO nothing, actually elevates UNO because it lets us attach our brand of New Orleans to the LSU brand. But it also doesn't cost LSU anything to attach its brand to New Orleans. I think if this is handled right, both in a marketing sense and in an operational sense, having the LSU brand attached to basically going back to our roots, okay? We were part of the LSU system. We, as UNO, LSU UNO grads, were part of the LSU system for 80% of our existence. So it's not like we've been gone that long. So we return home and we take on the family name. But I think that's each institution with the strength that it brings. LSU can now boast that it has one of 3 naval architecture schools in the country at New Orleans, okay? It can talk about its world-class hotel, restaurant, tourism management program in New Orleans, one of the great hotel and restaurant and tourism capitals of the universe. So this marriage could be a rising tide that lifts both ships. That's how the state, and that's how the LSU system, and that's how LSU and LSU UNO need to approach it. We don't want to be the farm club, okay? Not athletically and certainly not academically. But I think what UNO needs right now, more than anything, is funding. Funding for its infrastructure, meaning its buildings, its campus, its everything from the pipes in the ground to the buildings to the roofs and everything else. It needs funding for its academic infrastructure to restore and continue to build its academic programs. And it needs funding for its marketing and, just to its cash flow. And staging some sort of fight or rebellion over the name or the colors it's a losing battle, and it sends the wrong message. I think UNO needs to embrace its LSU identity, and I would certainly hope that LSU would embrace its returning member to the fold. And it would be good for both, not only both LSU Baton Rouge and LSU at New Orleans, it would be good for the whole system.
I thought just putting the U on the other end would solve the problem, putting New Orleans, the ultimate brand, first. I mean, I agree with you, the LSU brand, but New Orleans brand to LSU, it's not even apples and oranges. It's like apples to cinder blocks. About 8 billion people on the planet, probably 6 billion people plus know the name New Orleans, and maybe a few billion know LSU. I'm not knocking it, but
the part that lifts, which is the part of the rising tide that lifts LSU, which is the value for LSU. And that's the trade-off that hopefully gets UNO the funding it needs.
I just think that's sad that UNO has to be.
Here's the thing. Let's think about UNO and the New Orleans brand. Yes, the city of New Orleans has a brand, but Corey, it breaks my heart to the point of tears to say this, but I've said it before because it's true. UNO does not even have a brand in Metro New Orleans. If you ask anybody in Metro New Orleans who didn't go to UNO, what's UNO's mascot called? They don't know. What are UNO's colors? They don't know.
You're right. You're right.
And so it's not like we have done anything with the New Orleans brand. Calling it New Orleans University, I don't think is going to change that.
I mean, there has to be an effort and a plan, and there's none of that. But
costs money, which they don't have.
No. But I mean, it's coming from LSU. It's coming from the state. It's coming from taxpayers. Right. So funnel it a different way. But I just think two things that stand out. The New Orleans brand is a much bigger brand nationally, internationally than LSU. And
But New Orleans is not a university. New Orleans is a city. And by the way, one of the other things that UNO brings to the table, to the LSU can say, we now have a world-class school of jazz music. Everybody knows
oh,
jazz.
no, but it helps LSU when UNO could have been branding this themselves. And the second thing, Clancy, which is really disturbing, and maybe right now it's not going to be a problem, but it eventually will be, and it's not good. UNO will always be secondary to LSU. They'll never be able to grow bigger. They'll never be able to achieve. Anytime UNO's on the brink of greatness or explosive growth, LSU will stop it. So the flagship in Baton Rouge is clearly number one.
Well, is that true? And maybe that is true. But you know what? It would still be an improvement over where we are now. Wouldn't it be nice to be on the precipice of greatness? Because we sure as heck ain't there now.
No, it's amazing, Clancy. Just
later, if it's going to be fought, we can deal with that later. But I think I think it's not. It's to say, hey, we're not competing. We're not competing. We're all LSU.
It's mind blowing that
I understand. And maybe I'm not trying to sound like Pollyanna. Look, I lived through that stepchild phase. Okay, believe me. That's why they changed the name to UNO. That was the thumbing of our nose at LSU.
Yep.
But it didn't get us anything. But let me tell you, the folks at LSU, the political climate at LSU is different today than it was 50 years ago when I was at LSU. It's way different.
I mean, with Jeff Landry, it might be at its all-time worst.
Well, I'm talking about just in terms of how it relates to everybody else. If Jeff Landry has a favorite, it's going to be ULL. Okay, that's his backyard.
Yep.
But I mean, Kathleen Blanco was accused of that, and I don't know that Jeff Landry is going to favor UL Lafayette over LSU. But people will always make convenient accusations, and I have criticized the governor for many things, but I'm not prepared to say that he's going to favor LSU over UNO or ULL over LSU. He's the governor of the whole state. He needs to look out for all the universities.
Hey, speaking of, how about the craziness the last week and a half at LSU and in Baton Rouge?
Well, now that's something where the governor, I think, I don't know what his intentions were, but I don't think it played out the way he hoped it would. I'll just leave it at that.
What part?
In terms of the backlash. I mean, it's if he thought he was going to position himself as a savior, or ride in and save the day and fire the coach who nobody liked, I'll bet you Brian Kelly's more popular right now than Jeff Landry. That's saying a lot. Because it's not how, it gets back to what you said about New Orleans has a bigger brand than LSU. Well, it's apples and oranges. LSU is an academic institution. New Orleans is a world-renowned city that hosts Super Bowls. It's like saying, I don't know, like I like steak more than I like fishing. Well, you can like both, So, not fish, but fishing. You see, so they're not on the same. They're not in the same.
No, I get it. My point was putting the LSU brand on UNO.
Yeah.
I think they'd be better off using the New Orleans brand to promote UNO.
Well, I think it's all in how you say it. Come to LSU, New Orleans.
Yeah, I guess so.
So,
so Clancy, as a grad, you're kind of a positive vibe on this. You're optimistic about the future.
I would say I'm hopeful. I know more than I can talk about. I'll say that. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm some insider. I'm not. But, I'm trying to stay in touch with things. I mean, like you, if somebody tells you something on background, you keep it on background. But I think there are some things that are going to come out, that are going to occur in the next, the next few weeks and months and year and a half. Some of it will, people will greet with great enthusiasm, and other things people will say, oh, why'd they do that? But I think the thing that we should do at every turn, whether it's news that people think is great or news that people think is a disaster, I think we should step back, take a deep breath, and try to look at the big picture. Where have we been? Where are we now? And where do we want to get? Because we got to play the long game here, I guess is what I'm saying. And I think that I think UNO is going to be better off 5 years from now under the LSU banner than it would have been if it had stayed in the UL system. Substantially better off. And I think that's the long game. And as a graduate of the institution, I don't care what name is on my diploma. I care about what kind of education the kids who are going there today get. And I hope it's at least as good as the education that I received when I was there.
Clancy, where can folks check you out online, social media, Channel 4 editorials?
Really just Channel 4, Corey. I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. Social media wore me out. I was never big into social media anyway. I think the only social media I did to any extent was X, and I haven't been on X in almost a year. I just got tired of it.
Yeah, smart.
And I tried Facebook once for about maybe 8-10 years ago, and it wore me out in a week. So I'm not on that. I do have an Instagram account, but I hardly ever go on it. So if you want to see anything, you want to know what I'm doing, look at Channel 4's website, www.tv.com.
Clancy, thanks
that's
for
where I'm at.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you for the time this afternoon.
Thank you, Corey. Thanks for all you do to promote, good discussions about the important issues in our city and state. I really appreciate that. Your dad would be very proud of you. I know he is.
Wow. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Clancy.
Okay, buddy. Take care.
That's Clancy Dubos, Channel 4 editorials. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. We will be right back.
Look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, no cool spots. TM-AC.com, no cool spots.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson, where the grass hasn't been cut in weeks or months. There's a lot of trash and garbage on the neutral ground, maybe even a person or two taking a nap. And oh, someone didn't pick up the dog.
Oh boy, keep it clean. It's a family-oriented show. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Corey Johnson back at you. Yeah, you right. UNO officially loses its identity. LSU at New Orleans. UNO's name is done. The LSU brand is in. Silver and blue gone. Purple and gold is in. I'm not kidding you. It's LSU's like junior schools, like LSU S in Shreveport, like LSU E in Eunice, LSU New Orleans. Now, I just think this is sort of a pathetic power grab by my alma mater. I'm LSU class of 91, Baton Rouge campus. I love LSU. Love LSU. I just think it's ridiculous that instead of LSU, I mean, of course, the UNO's in the LSU system. But I mean, if I'm LSU, I'm like, I'm secure with who I am in Baton Rouge. We got LSU E, LSU S, whatever. UNO, let's use New Orleans as the main branding, not LSU. New Orleans University, like Boston University, that's a name that will attract people regionally, nationally, and even internationally. Make UNO a monster. Instead, they're hooked into the LSU system, and they'll always be second to LSU, never ahead of LSU. Let's head to the phone lines. Aaron joins us in Slidell. 766-9480. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Corey. How you doing, man?
Aaron, what's up?
Did my graduate degree at UNO. It was the most affordable option for me. They had a night program, an MBA program at night, and wouldn't be where I am today without it. Not that I'm some CEO of some major company, but I do all right, and UNO is a big part of that. And so it's disappointing to hear that that UNO is just going to become a
sub school to LSU Baton Rouge.
Yeah, they're going to play second fiddle, and they don't
always
deserve that.
No, I just, it's mind blowing to me. There's no outcry by UNO folks. I'm just blown away by this. And, I graduate from LSU. I know LSU thinks a lot of insecure people don't want any competition, scared UNO could grow. It's terrible. I remember when LSU had about 30,000 students and UNO had like 18. And LSU people in Baton Rouge were crapping in their pants at that time. So yeah, it's terrible. I don't like that. I don't like UNO's second fiddle to LSU. Let UNO be its own thing, its own entity, not definitively secondary to LSU. LSU Junior.
I just don't understand why, most of the schools in the South, you look at Mississippi, Alabama, have two major schools, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Auburn, Alabama. Why Louisiana has not been able to, I don't know if it's LSU has stifled the other schools from growing or not.
They've definitely first off, two things. Louisiana has way too many 4-year colleges and universities, public schools. It's ridiculous. Like every 40 miles, McNeese, Nichols, Southern, Grambling, La Tech, Northwestern, UL Monroe. It's just crazy. It's Hammond. They're everywhere. So about half the schools aren't even needed, but they'll never go away. They're part of the economic engine, all of that. But yeah, LSU definitely, they're the flagship. They don't want La Tech getting big, complaining that UL Lafayette is Louisiana during sporting events. No, there's a crazy insecurity. It's like, you're the Kings. You're the flagship. Act like it.
I just figured iron would sharpen iron, and any competition in state would make them better, just like it does in their own conference. Love the show, Corey. I'll keep listening, man.
Thanks for the call in Slidell, 766-9480. No, I just think it's a drag. I think missed opportunity. UNO, not UNO, New Orleans should be the brand. And I don't like that UNO is going to always be secondary to LSU. The Saints Pelicans analogy is perfect. I mean, the Saints organization owns the Pelicans. No one would say the Pelicans organization owns the Saints. People are like, what are you talking about? The Saints are the monster. The Pels are this secondary thing. They're both major pro sports. But when you say the Saints organization owns the Pelicans, no one looks at that as crazy. Like, that's exactly right. So sadly, the Pelicans will never be equal to or bigger or better than the Saints. And folks could go, Corey, it's the NFL versus the NBA. I mean, do I have to rattle off the list of NBA teams that are more valuable, bigger than the Saints? The Knicks, the Lakers. I mean, there's a lot of NBA teams that are bigger. Philadelphia 70s, value of the team, everything bigger than the Saints. The Saints are worth billions of dollars. Mario, how many NBA teams have a higher value than the Saints? I bet you it's 10 NBA teams, a third of the league.
At least. I feel like even teams like Toronto Raptors might
Oh,
have more
Toronto, exactly. Google it.
Like, yeah, I'm trying to. Like, bigger market.
No, I'll do it right
Yeah, it's
now.
hard to-
I mean, I'll do it quickly with the old voice gimmick.
Go for
Toronto
it.
Raptors is a perfect example.
Yeah. Like, I think that's a good city to compare it
What's the Toronto Raptors value?
to.
No, I just Googled it. It's going to tell me in a second.
Yeah, let me know.
That says, let's see.
Oh,
Value.
It says 4.4 billion here.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably right. I got 5.4
Yeah. Well,
in a recent Forbes valuation. 5.4 billion. The Saints aren't worth 5.4 billion. What are the New Orleans Saints worth? Value.
According to
6.1.
Wow.
So great comparison, Mario.
Yep.
Great comparison. 5.4 to 6.1.
There you go.
Damn, the Saints have gone up a lot. But that just tells you right there, it's about a $500 million difference. So there are a lot of NBA teams that are equal value or more value than the Saints. So look, we're a football market. I get it. And maybe the Saints will always be secondary to the NBA forever. But some years where the NBA team's great with another owner and the Saints are struggling, the NBA team would be the team that year. With this ownership, they'll never be. And with LSU overseeing UNO will always be second fiddle to LSU forever now. Forever.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.